Hey everybody, how are you? I hope you are all well. It's been a bit crazy since we last talked. I've had a lot of things going on. I don't know how much sitting up I can do. That is part of so much to catch up on. Here we go. Made it through the COVID scare. Don't have COVID. Whew. Anyway, hi, how are you? I missed you all. Hope you are all well, staying safe. Hope your families are safe. I love you all. Let's start there. So we're in a little bit of a pickle. Lots of pickles. So many pickles. I've plucked a lot of pickles. Let's get rid of these pickles. Damn, there's a lot of pickles. Let's start with pickle number 1. So, as we all know, my ferritin and iron were extremely low. My ferritin was 5. As we know, that's really low, bottom of the bucket. When I met my hematologist, he said, I've been waiting for you to come in a long time, and you should have came in sooner. Man, that's low. And when he first saw me, he went, wow, you don't look okay. That's how bad it was. And on the first meeting of the hematologist, he said I needed to meet an OBGYN. And I knew he was going to say it off the top. Well, it's been 3 months, and I finally got to meet this OBGYN. I had been on the support group chats and stuff and been talking with people, so I sort of knew what I was going into, except there was a new thing that happened with reactions right before I met the OBGYN, which sort of changed the storyline as I was going in, which then changed the whole plot of the story right when I went in. And so I started reacting to my own hormones. So I had a cycle. My face sort of started reacting to the hormones in my own body on my cycle, which I was like, this isn't good for what I'm about to say next, which we will learn. So she met me. I was very nervous to go into the OBGYN due to my past experience and medical history. When I was younger, I had kidney reflux disease. And so I spent a year of my life going to Mayo Clinic as a child and having to from my waist down be naked on a hard slab, and I just remember them putting tubes in and having to fill me up with liquid, and then having the doctors in the room say, okay, pee yourself on the table, we want to see how much your bladder can fill up, and then pee in front of these doctors while being fully exposed. So that's traumatic enough. So I've never been to the OBGYN ever my adult life. I've never been checked. Never. So going to the OBGYN was a big deal. I know my cycle has been off my whole life. I know it's very bad. And I knew that this was going to be a problem that I've held off my entire adult life. I know that my flow, here we go, is incredibly bad. And I knew the cycle was wrong. I was just trying to deal with it and go with the flow. Yeah, so I went in, I talked with the fellow, and went through history and everything, and she says, okay, we're going to have the doctor come in and talk to you now. The doctor came in and she said, well, sadly we're in limited options, but what we're not going to do today is going to put you up on that table. You don't need any more trauma. And I was like, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for not putting me through this. My mom put me in the bath the night before, and we're going to make you squeaky clean. And I was like, okay, fine. She's like, we're not going to put you through that right now. She says, we do need an ultrasound to make sure that everything is functionally well. She says, I want to make sure that there isn't fibro or endometriosis going on or anything else like that going on. She suspects that everything looks normal down there. She says, but controlling your heavy flow is the problem right now, and which is what we believe is causing the low iron and the ferritin level. And that's when she started talking about hormones and pills and stuff like that. And I said, and that's where we have to stop. Now, this doctor was recommended from my complex care doctor, who this doctor is highly recommended. They know each other, so they both understand my zebra special needs of mast cell, EDS. They understand this. So I said, here's where we hold. I'm now reacting to hormones, which means hormones are off the table. No IUD, no hormones no interactions. I said, I do not want to add another medication to my list. You've seen the list. We also know that I have a very high interaction with meds. Adding meds to me is a big problem because every time we add a different type of medication, I react weirdly to it. Now we know that my body does not handle hormones very well. So that's another reactor for me now. So I understand what's the next step. And she says, okay, well then the next step is cauterization and tube tying. Do you understand? And I said, yes, I do. I understand. That means no children. She says, so that's that option, or there's hysterectomy. She says, if you're going to do the cauterization, you have to do tube tying, because if you get the cauterization and you end up pregnant, then that could lead to disastrous things, so you need to get tube tying done. With the cauterization, that does not stop the flow. Sometimes only 25% of patients or 10% of patients actually stop bleeding. And I was like, this is not, so I don't have kids, but I'm still bleeding. But everything else is closed up shop. I was like, this is not the... And I said, but the hysterectomy is taking care of everything, correct? She says, yes. I said, well, then we're going that route, because I'm not going to deal with all these extra things hanging out when we can just get rid of everything else and solve the bleeding problem. That's what we're here for. So I decided to go with that option, because that makes sense in my mind. Because here's the other problem at play that a lot of people don't see in the short, if you're just looking at little bits. If you're just reading the Caring Grid, or you're just seeing my TikTok, what I don't go into detail is that, like, I'm a 31-year-old woman who has never been in a relationship, single as single can be, severely disabled. Imagine being stuck on your commode and your mom's sitting there being like, I'm going to take your tampons away because you can't get to yourself. You can't clean yourself. You can't get it out. You can't get your tampon out because your hands are stuck like this. Or here's another story that happened that I told my doctor because I wanted to give her perspective into what I was having to deal with last year when I was in the nursing home. I was in the nursing home. TMI, but I was in the nursing home and I had lost 40 pounds in less than 3 months. And I was laying there. And I had hoped that because of everything going on that I wouldn't get my period for quite a while still. I was laying there. I still wasn't able to fully sit up. I was still pretty bedridden at this point. Was not moving very well. All of a sudden the nurse wipes. She goes, ooh. I go, what's wrong? As she wipes, I noticed that obviously I had my period. I am mortified because I'm on a bedpan. Imagine being 30 years old in a nursing home on a bedpan getting your period. And not knowing what to do. Luckily it was a young nurse, and it was the nurse that I felt comfortable with, because if it was one of the guys, I would have kicked them out. I would have just been like, go get somebody else. I'd rather just sit here in this than have you deal with this. We moved the bed in different angles to try to figure out how to do this. And she's like, do you want me to? And I was like, no, I'm doing it myself. And she's like, it's okay. You know, we'll get the bed chuck and everything. And I explained this to the OBGYN. I was like, I've dealt with that. And now I'm dealing with being on a commode. And sometimes I'm frozen because of stiff attacks, or my mom has to lift me to my commode and I can't get things done. There's so many reasons why it's not just one thing or another. It's so many things that I cannot access to get down there sometimes, where I'm just stuck sitting there. having issues. Where I just have to sit there and wait it out and hope that my arms and hands will do what they need to do, because honestly, personally, I could not let my mother do that for me yet. I can't let my PCA do that for me. I can't. That's where I draw the line. That's me thing. So what I want to say to that is that I am at peace with my decision. I was okay with that decision. I am okay with that decision until I saw my mother's face in the seating room afterwards while we were waiting to make more appointments. And I got out and I looked at my mom's face and she was all teary-eyed and she said, I just was sort of holding out hope still. That face. Realizing I'm gonna choke up here, I can tell. Realizing that I couldn't give her grandbabies. And I know that there are so many beautiful children out there that want moms. And I'll be a mom one day. I will. I'll be a mom one day. When I'm ready and able. She'll have grandbabies. Because with the hysterectomy, you can keep your ovaries. And so if I were to do like surrogacy, we could do it that way. My whole life, I've always wanted to breastfeed. I've always wanted to have a big belly. I've always joked about drawing a smile on my face with marker just to watch that smile get bigger on my belly. But to watch my mom's face feels so heartbroken because she was still holding out hope for me. That is what broke me. That is what broke me the most. I heard from my sister that my mom felt selfish for feeling those feelings. She has a right to feel those feelings, and my sister validated her, which I'm glad. She just wants to be grandma. And I just want to be a mom one day. The thing is like, these feelings are for other people. These feelings you're seeing are for other people. I am like at peace with this. It's just the feelings of letting go is the hardest part. It's the letting go of like the dream of how it was going to be is the hardest part. I think that I haven't been emotional about it. It's when I talk about those little bits of like the breastfeeding the baby and the belly and stuff like that. I know when it comes to the moment of when I have the surgery, I will be a hot mess, and after the surgery I'll be a bigger hot mess, and I'm gonna need all the support. I need all the support. But at this point I'm just ready, get it done. Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it and get it done, and quick and easy. Hopefully easy. But that was the heavy news that I had to get past. It wasn't the easiest to get around Christmas time, you know? Sorry about that noise. I did not mean to slurp up my nose. I did it again, I'm sorry. So yeah. That's that. I know there are so many beautiful babies out there, and children, and teens, everywhere in America that are so deserving of wonderful homes. And I have such a big heart, and I will love every single one of them. Because I'm disabled, chronically ill, I know that will make it very difficult for me to be accepted into certain programs, to be able to foster or adopt. But I would hope that times will change and allow me to love any one of those children, because I have a huge heart. And hopefully when I'm stable enough and there is somebody in my life who loves me back as hard as I love, I'll create a family with them. So that's one part of this. Take a deep breath, get your Kleenex. Let's move on to the next part. Okay. Are we ready? Part 2. We heard back from my cardiologist. Cardiologist is stumped. He doesn't know what he's doing. He was, oh, that was interesting. So cardiologist is stumped. We're done with him. He doesn't know what's going on. It's not like we're like ditching him. He's a great doctor. He's got me on the medication that we need. That seems to be working. But he doesn't know what's going on. I don't have stiff heart, cardiomyopathy. Basically what he saw on the tilt table test, pretty sure was just a stiff attack that makes my heart go crazy. But when I'm having the stiff attacks now, the heart isn't as crazy with the new medication. But I did get a Johns Hopkins referral from him. And I got a call back saying that they did put the referral through. So now I sit and wait for Johns Hopkins referral. Yeah. How we get out there, I have no clue. I just read on the SPS page, the stiff person page, that someone recently just made it out there by car, and he couldn't get out of the car, so Dr. Newsom, who is the head of the stiff person, had his first doctor's visit in the back of a truck because the patient could not get to him. They got the gurney to go down to him to get some labs, and this doctor is an amazing doctor, and it gave me hope. So yeah, if I have to go across the country and I get stuck in the car, at least I'll know who'll come down to me. Part 2. Okay, now part 3. Things have been getting worse in my neck. As you can see, I'm in this guy. Sometimes I'm in this guy because I'm coming back from the clinic, but I've been actually living in this guy now. I'm having pain in my neck and my head. My vision's getting worse. I get numbness in my hands. My involuntary movements are happening a lot. Excuse me, I am not bored. Oh, I got the chills and makes me yawn. Weird things. The other day I could not even sit up. Mom had to literally like pick me up and put me on the commode. I've been very tired lately, where it's just I don't have the energy to actually like sit up and do anything. Currently I'm about at my max for sitting up, which is I'm at 18 minutes. I've got like 3 more minutes to do this before I start streaming. Okay, so I'm gonna do it quick. I called my complex care doctor and let her know I was in a lot of pain, and I think my CCI is flaring up, which has been flaring up, and now I'm getting this new firing pain in my spine, like my vertebrae actually hurt, but it's in a new spot, and I think I just need new MRIs or something. And she says, no, you need a neurosurgeon. And I said, okay, yeah, let's do it. Where's the referral? Let's go. She goes, there isn't any here. I said, okay, where are we going? She says, well, I'm going to give you a list of all these great ones. You can look at one and then pick one and we'll send out the referral. I said, okay, where are we going? She goes, the East Coast. It'd be nice if we could get both those trips at the same time, you know, Johns Hopkins, East Coast, same spot. Guys, I haven't left my home in a year. I can't get more than like 20 minutes from my house before I'm uncomfortable in a car. But there's no way you're getting me in an airplane at this point. If I were to have one of my attacks on an airplane, pretty sure they would take it down and turn me back to where I came from. So yeah. There's no neurosurgeon around here because basically there's no doctor that understands craniocervical around here. You need to go to a doctor that understands the minute details of the stuff that I'm dealing with, or else you would just go to a neurosurgeon around here and they'd be like, I don't see any problem. What's going on? So you have to go out to these doctors that understand these zebra issues and these craniocervical instability and these spinal issues that are like so fine. It's like trying to look for moles, but in your neck. It's trying to look for these tiny little fine things that you just don't normally see, and they've got the technology and the eyeballs to look for it, and they don't have it here. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, other than drug me up good and lay me in the back of the car and hope for the best. Oh God. Yeah, so that's 2 trips to the East Coast now that I have to make. And I really, 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 really would prefer not to be cut open back here, away from my family. That's a scary thought. That this all needs surgery, possibly? Yep. So we're getting an MRI done here locally, just to update my spine, because that hasn't been updated since my 800 seizures and all of these spasms. And I've been saying that needs to be updated since all of that jerking and flailing and all of that stuff, because stuff hurts. Can't get in that machine without general sedation, so that's been sent over to the hospital in hopes that they will read that from an outside provider. I think that's the best update so far that I've got. Yeah, hysterectomy, John Hopkins, neurosurgery, East Coast. I don't have COVID. Things are getting bumpy, you guys. Top and tail. It's where do we go first? I would assume we would start with the simple. Start down, work your way up. Because we can do this one here. Might as well just get that done with, because that would really suck to have to deal with those issues while we have this issue. So I would personally say I would really hate to have a period while trying to deal with this and this. That's my preference. Just saying. Or going through neurosurgery and having to deal with that. Because I've had a spine surgery and woke up from spine surgery and ended up having my period. And then I was sitting on the commode next to it, and I just saw a random man and said, hey, can you help me? I have my period. And then I realized when I opened my eyes and the man handed me a sanitary napkin, and then I looked at the color of the scrubs and I realized it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and the janitorial staff was helping me put a pad into my underwear at the hospital. And I was just like, that just happened. Yeah. So, I hope your day is going better than my day. Or week, or whatever. Yeah. So much. It's a bit overwhelming right now. And we're trying to just get through one day at a time currently. Just being like, okay, where do we feel like we're just sitting ducks. And we just don't know. We also don't want to go out there and get a no. Like a, we don't know, or no. You know? It's being invalidated so many times by doctors telling you don't have anything, to go out to the East Coast to be told, now you're fine, is like, wait, I came all the way out here for you're fine? Why didn't anyone tell me this before I got here? So anyway, I'm going to send you spoons. And I'm going to say peace, love, and Cookie Monster. I love you all. I'm sending you so much love. All the hugs. I'm hugging you. Hug, 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 hug. Please stay safe and well and happy and beautiful. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always watching my videos. I feel you watching my videos all the time. Love you.